A lot of people like to judge how well something is working based on the price associated with that asset. So, Bitcoin, a lot of people like to determine how well Bitcoin is actually growing as a technology and a resource to our world based on the price. Well, currently we're at about $23,000 per Bitcoin on today, which is August 8th, 2022. And that is pretty far off from the top where it was around 60K, right? So we've dropped about a third from there. But I want to go over some other indicators that give us a more accurate representation of the growth of the technology as a whole. Because if we're looking at the price of something, price is an emotional number to look at. It is a way to measure things quantitatively, but the data points that correlate to the quantitative data, which is the price, all come back to qualitative data points, such as it's all just other people with their idea of what Bitcoin should be worth. Now, you also got to think 99% of the people out there don't actually understand the value of Bitcoin and why we have Bitcoin. So, as that knowledge starts to grow and accumulate to be more widespread, then we can see the price of Bitcoin start to be a little bit more regular. So I want to look at three different data points that tell us that Bitcoin is continuing to grow despite whatever might be happening when it comes to price. So this one is Bitcoin active addresses. This is just a chart showing us how many active wallet addresses there are. So when you get set up with a cryptocurrency wallet, then you get your own wallet address where you can store your crypto. And we teach you how to do that inside the program. So you can see here, it's really only going up and to the right, right? We're not seeing it like catastrophically shoot down to super low numbers or anything. It is continually going up and to the right. Okay. Of course, you'll see as we have highs in the price, we have big spikes and then it comes down. But by and large, we're seeing it go up and to the right. The next one is Bitcoin hash rate. So the hash rate is the total amount of processing power that is being allocated towards the Bitcoin blockchain. So in order for the Bitcoin blockchain to operate, we need computers from all over the world to lend their processing power. So the same exact amount, like type of processing power that your computer's using now to watch me and on your computer, that same type of processing power is being lent to the Bitcoin blockchain all around the world. So that this is essentially saying that the amount of processing power added to the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain in specific, is only going up and to the right. We had this moment right here, this little crash here. This happened when China actually banned Bitcoin, which is really good for the US. So a lot of miners had to pack up their equipment and then move elsewhere. And you can see it took off right after that. And then the last one is the fear and greed index. So this here is a way for us to take a lot of qualitative data points, such as market sentiment of what people are saying on Twitter, as well as a whole bunch of other data points, and put them into a metric called the fear and greed index. Now you'll see that back in 2019, when the price was $13,000, we had a score of 95, meaning that there's a lot of greed in the market. And then now in 2022, we're seeing $19,000 being a really low score of only 6 for fear, meaning that there's a lot of fear in the market. Well, Warren Buffett says that you should be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So when you look at this and you see the overall pattern of what's taking place here, you'll see that we're finding better and better opportunities at higher and higher prices, right? You would have been nervous to buy Bitcoin at $19,000 back in 2019 because of how high the greed would have been. But in today's world, that greed is very low. It's a very fearful market around this point here. And this is going to be a trend that we continue to see moving forward. So just to recap, looking at price is not actually a good way to measure the growth of a technology, to measure the growth of a business, or anything like that. You want to look at the underlying factors. And the thing with stocks is that you can't really do that as effectively, right? You can look at a lot of their different, metrics such as like their balance sheet and what they're doing with their money and whatnot, because they're a public company and they have to do that. But with Bitcoin, we can see very granular info about what's going on the Bitcoin blockchain because it's open to everybody. And we can use that data in our investment decisions. And we teach you how to do that. That's something called on-chain analytics. We teach all about it in the program. I hope this was a useful video for you to understand that price is not the number one determining factor of looking at the efficacy of a technology.